Today's show is brought to you by Martinez Drywall. Around here, you don't gamble on who's going to finish your project. You go with a proven team. Martinez Drywall has built their reputation on reliability, craftsmanship, and a promise that they'll always make it right for the customer. From remodels to new constructions, they've got you covered. Martinez Drywall, where the house always wins, and so do you.
And odds, that's our deal. From underdogs to favorites, we break it down. Empty Field Podcast, the talk of the town. Empty Field, where we lay it all out. Breaking down games, removing all doubt. Interviews with stars, we're bringing the heat. Sports news and odds, talk that can't be beat.
Welcome to another episode of the Empty Field Podcast. My name is Mathew Hansen. Today, I have a fighter out of Atlanta, Georgia. We have the thetonyhope. How are you?
I'm doing great today. How you doing?
Man, doing great. First off, tell us about yourself.
My name is thetonyhope, like you introduced me. I'm a 23-year-old MMA and Muay Thai fighter out of Atlanta, Georgia, the one and only, born and raised. I am a college student. I'm actually a senior at Georgia State University, majoring in journalism. I aspire to be a sports analyst and a professional fighter simultaneously. I graduate this May too, so I'm almost up on out of there.
Ooh, what got you into journalism?
I was. That's a great question, actually. I picked journalism really because that's the closest thing that Georgia State offered to, I guess, like sports media. I graduated high school during COVID back in 2020, so I technically didn't even get a graduation. My last day of school was March 13th, 2020. I'll never forget that date. They said school is going to be out for the rest of the week, and the rest of the week turned into the rest of the school year. So I was accepted to Butler University, which was in Indianapolis, and that was my number one school I wanted to go to because they had a great sports media program. It's a great sports city, but COVID kind of got in the way of that because of online school and the money having to pay to just kind of still just go online. I wasn't trying to do it. So Georgia State was my next best option out of all the schools I got accepted to. And their journalism program is pretty legit. So knowing that I came from a strong writing background and knowing that I'm good in front of a camera, good on the mic, I wanted to try to use that degree to get onto TV to talk about sports.
Cool. So then what drew you into MMA?
What drew me into MMA has to be, I grew up watching the sport a lot. I'll say I came from watching WWE first. If you ask anybody that knows me, they know that I'm a WWE nerd. Love anything WWE. So knowing Brock Lesnar got me into watching the UFC, and me being like the young boy that loves fighting and all this other crazy stuff. I started to watch him, Brock Lesnar, who really got me to the sport. And then from Brock Lesnar, it became John Jones and Anderson Silva and GSP and all these other legends of like the late 2000s to early mid 2010s. And then from there, just kept watching it. One day, it's like January 2021, stuff is starting to open up around Atlanta now. After COVID, the quarantine and everything being shut down. There's a gym next to my house that had a free Muay Thai class, and I signed up for it. Loved it. My dad said, "Is this something that you're really gonna do? And if it is, then I'll pay for it, kind of like as a Christmas gift." And he did so. I told him I want to commit to it fully, and he signed me up for about 6 months, and then from there, the rest is history. I did Muay Thai for about 4 years. I'd say 4 years before I made my official transition to MMA.
Cool.
Excuse me.
Who was the one that believed you and pushed you to go into MMA?
I'll say myself. I was my biggest proponent, I believe. Like, of course, I had people who believed in me, but as far as like MMA was always the end goal. Like, I'm a 6-time Muay Thai champion. Uh, I've held Muay Thai belts in 2 divisions simultaneously. Like, striking is like my foundation, but it was always meant to be, like I said, like the building blocks. I believe me personally, I believe that if you want to become a excellent Muay Thai or MMA fighter, if you want to be an MMA champion, you need to have a strong base in something. And for me, I wanted my base to be uh, Muay Thai because it was fun. It was what my favorite fighters had a lot of skill in, so I wanted to emulate them. So it was really myself. I pushed myself to say I wanted to do MMA. It's very easy. I could have very easily stayed within my realm of Muay Thai and just striking, but I wanted to test myself. I wanted to um, see how well of a martial artist I can be. And I believe the peak of martial arts is mixed martial arts.
Cool. How would you describe your fight style to someone who's never seen you fight?
For someone who's never seen me fight, I'll say I'm a showman. I am a showman. I am an artist. Very entertaining fighter. I will say that. If you aren't a fan of me before watching me fight, watch one of my fights online, watch one of my fights in person, and 100% you will be a fan of me. Um, I like, again, I came from striking, so just knowing the different ways of how to manipulate the space between me and my opponent and having my bag of strikes is so deep. Like my arsenal is just so well versed that it doesn't matter if the fight is close in the clinch or in the pocket, or if the fight is long and I get to just stay at range and just piece you up with my kicks and with my jabs and with my straight punches, or if we want to be in the intermediate range where we're not touching each other, but we're not too far out, and I can kind of pick you apart with knees and some good uppercuts and hooks. Very unorthodox striking. I take inspiration from all martial arts, whether that's boxing, judo, jujitsu, kickboxing, Muay Thai. I even take moves from video games. There's certain things that if I see it on, if I play so many games, the UFC games, WWE, Mortal Kombat, I see something that looks applicable in a real life setting, guaranteed I'm going to try it out at practice the next day and see if it is something that I can implement into my game that I can eventually use in real life fight.
Cool, and that kind of leads into the next question. What part of your game do you think doesn't get enough respect?
That's a great question. That's a great question. Because I feel like in my region, in Georgia, my striking is very respected. And that's something that I've had to come to terms with as a mixed martial artist because it's not just striking in MMA. There's takedowns and there's grappling. So I'll say one thing that people will come to respect is my ability to wrestle and get off of my back. That's something that I've had to consciously and intentionally put countless amounts of hours into the gym trying to get better at, is to be able to know what to do when my butt touches the mat, know what to do when my back hits the mat, know what to do when someone goes after my leg. And it's taken a lot of trial and error through fighting, taking a lot of frustrating nights at the gym, taking a lot of studying outside to like really gain confidence in that realm of fighting. My next fight, which is March 7th, for the NFC National Fighting Championship, I'm going to show that my ground game will be respected.
Perfect. Before we get into your next fight, let's go back to your very first fight. October 15th, 2022. Walk us through it. What kind of nerves do you have going into it?
So that was my first fight for the NFC. Before then, I had two fights for the IKF, International Kickboxing Federation, I believe. They had this was back in January of 2022. And it was, so blah, blah, blah. October, that's the one that's listed on Tapology. That was my first fight with no shin guards, my first fight with no headgear. And that was my that was my fourth fight ever, and I was going against a 15-fight veteran. And to be honest, I was extremely nervous because it's like the allure of protection is gone. It's like, all right, I don't have any headgear now. I don't have shin guards. It's like stuff can hurt. Like stuff can legitimately hurt me now. And it was something that I had to really work within myself to get over that anxiety and that fear. But when I went in there, it was It was just like another day in the office. Like I do remember being extremely calm when the fight started, and it was a very thorough performance, and it was one where I had to overcome some adversity because in the third round, I'll never forget this ever. In the third round, I broke one of my toes. I threw a teep to his face, or I threw a push kick to his face. Um, and I guess I might have caught my one of my toes on his chin or something, but it broke. And in the moment, I was like, something off. Something feels weird on my foot. The adrenaline's going, but I knew something was wrong. I looked down at my foot mid action and I literally see my toe bent sideways. And
Oh, oh no.
I've never felt something like that before. Like I've, fractured wrists and things, but like this is competition and I literally broke my toe. I know as like an analyst and I know as a fan that, hey, if the referee sees me complain about it, he's gonna stop the fight, especially as amateurs. I'm like, I'm not losing this fight. There's like a minute 30 left. I refuse to lose. So broken toe and all, I went on to finish that fight and win via unanimous decision. And it's just something that it was a great introduction into like the realm of fighting, like, having full contact, knockout, no shin guards, no headgear. It was a great experience.
Um, now you've either is looking at your topology, you basically won either by a decision, unanimous, or you lost. Your real, I would say, loss, and that's not a decision, came in the first round against Brennan Johnson. Walk us through that fight where, sadly, you lost by a rear naked choke.
Yes, so that's my third ever MMA fight. Um, Brennan Johnson, he's a tough opponent, game opponent. We were supposed to fight originally in June, I believe it was some month in the summer. We were supposed to originally fight.
September, it looked like September, and then it got
Yes,
changed to November.
yes. So September, and he broke his toe, and or broke his foot, some injury to his foot, and he had to withdraw last second, and so we went and we rescheduled it for November, and again, just coming from striking, he knew we've known each other uh through the NFC for a while. Um, so when we finally got matched up for MMA, it was something that I knew I wanted to do because he had more experience than me in that area, and it was going to be a test. I always look at fighting as tests rather than like competition. So we went in there and we knew what he was going to want to take me down, but it was just like my awareness of what was going on the ground just wasn't there yet. It's like I still had more things to learn about the ground game and just the simple act of getting up. So when he had taken me down, we got into a scramble. I tried to sprawl. We got into a scramble position and he ended up in full mount. Of course, it's ground and pound. So I was thinking about that. I bridged up hard, exploded, but I ended up giving my back. He locked in a body triangle. And then from there, he began looking for a rear naked choke. I was fighting the hands around my neck. But the body triangle was so tight, and I'll give him his credit for that because it was about maybe 10 seconds left in the round, and he had squeezed so hard on that body triangle as I was controlling my breathing, fighting the hands, it took all of the air out of me. And that one little moment of like panic, kind of set in, and he was able to lock up the choke, and I tapped at the end of, I believe it was the first round. So um, it was a great learning experience though, because it's like it definitely it told me that I needed to get better at jujitsu. I needed to get better at my understanding of how to get up and how to properly defend myself on the ground.
Cool. That's something good to learn from. How do you mentally reset from that, like a tough performance start there?
It was pretty easy because like again, I don't put too much like stake in winning and losing. Like like I said, I've won championships before. I have 6 of them. They so many. I have so many of them that they're just spread out. Some are at my house, some are at my other house. Like there's so many places that they are. Winning is always cool, and winning is the goal, but losing isn't something that I'm scared of. Losing isn't something that holds like it's not like an anchor around me. It's like it's something that where if I lose, it's because I know it's going to be because there was a lack of awareness. I know that I train hard to make sure that I protect myself. So I I know that if I lose, it's going to be because of a lack of awareness in a certain aspect of my game. I look back at my first Muay Thai loss. I had won my first championship against Seth Haas, and then I lost it my very next fight to Cameron Burton, which we ended up having a great trilogy of fights. But in that first loss, that was my first time experiencing defeat, and it was very similar to my last loss. It's just like, what do I need to do better? There's always something that I can do better, whether it's a win or a loss. So when I lose, I look at it like, okay, I rewatch my fight. I rewatch exactly when I made the mistake. And then I go to my coach and we sit down and we break it down even further. And then we craft our training in order to rid my game of those holes. So guarantee my next fight, I won't make the same mistake again. I don't make the same mistake twice.
Stop. Before we continue this episode here, are you staying hydrated? No. Have you tried Hydrofy? Man, it's not just flavored water. It's clean hydration with electrolytes that actually work. No sugar crash, no junk ingredients. Pretty simple. Hydrofy keeps you sharp and fueled for the day. I use it because, man, it's simple, effective, and it just tastes real good. Hydrate smarter, hydrate better. That's Hydrofy. Use promo code MTF to get 10% off your order. Just say, hey, Matt from the Empty Field podcast sent you. Okay. So then what are you chasing then? You said it's not really about the wins. Are you chasing the finishes, long-term growth? What are you finishing? Or what are you trying to chase?
My long-term goal is definitely to be a world champion. I want to be a world champion in plenty different promotions. It's always been a dream of mine to fight in Japan. So Ryzen is definitely a promotion that I eventually want to compete for in MMA. I want to fight in ONE FC. I want to fight in the UFC. I want to fight in the PFL. Like I look at myself as a martial artist. I want to be a world champion in whatever martial art I compete in. Um, my my main goal is to be a world champion, but it's also to be a very um a very knowledgeable sports analyst as well, especially within combat sports. I want to be able to go onto TV and they hear my voice and they know that Tony knows what he's talking about. He's competed at the highest level. He's won championships before. He competes in jiu-jitsu. He competes in MMA. He competes in Muay Thai. He competes in boxing. Like, I want to be as great of a martial artist as I can be. I want to be an entertaining martial artist as well. Like I said, I would never put on a boring performance. Never. Um, Never that. And but I will say I don't chase finishes because I've noticed that when I go into fights looking for a finish, it just doesn't come for me. It's like everything it's like when you try to force something, you're low key pushing it away, at least in my experience. So I have a few um I have a few knockouts or TKOs on my resume, and those TKOs all came from me just kind of going with the flow, seeing how the fight develops and then taking what my opponent gives me. And I'm not really chasing belts either. I really just want to just go out there and be the greatest martial artist I can be, and everything else will fall into place. That's how it's always worked for me, and I just know that the universe kind of works in that favor.
Yeah. Um, Myself, I've never stepped into a ring or a cage. What is your mindset walking into a cage?
Walking into the cage, walking into the ring, walking into a fight environment, I'll say I used to be nervous, and the more and more I fight, the less nerves I get. I still get them, of course, because fighting is literally it's the ultimate form of human chaos, I believe, because number one, we're doing this willingly. This is not like the streets where it's like, okay, I have to fight for my life. It's something that we both signed a contract for, and we both are willingly putting our lives and our health at risk. So it's something that I do have to always remind myself that, you signed up for this, but I always calm myself down by saying you also prepared for this. I take my training very seriously, and I believe that I'm surrounded by some of the best martial artists, at least in my region. I haven't fought outside of Georgia yet, so I'm not sure, but I'm very confident that my team is one of the best team of amateurs in the country. So I know that with my coaches and my teammates, that I will walk into any fight well prepared to deal with what's coming my way. And that does help to alleviate any anxiety and fear that I have. And I'm a big proponent of visualization. I'm a big proponent of manifestation. I'm a big proponent of journaling and writing and thinking about exactly how you want the fight to go. So for the days and the weeks leading up to the fight, it's always, how do I want this fight to go? Do I want to, again, I don't chase finishes, so I'm like, okay, how about we go in here and let's work our hand. Let's enforce that you're not gonna just walk me down by using heavy jabs. Making sure that anytime he steps foot into my striking distance, he's getting hit with something. Or let's go in here and let's be ready to sprawl hard. Let's be ready to move off of the center line. Like I always remind myself, and I have to I coach myself in the days and the weeks leading up mentally. Like, okay, let's do this. When I shadow box, I always think about exactly how I want the fight to go. And so when it's time to get into the cage, it's as if I've rehearsed it hundreds of times. Now it's just about going out there and trusting my training and actually doing the job, you know?
Yeah. How do you deal with doubters? People that say, "Hey, you're not going to be good enough."
I haven't really ran into any doubters yet in my career, or at least, well, I can't say that. I know I have experienced some haters, but I don't really give them no attention. I don't pay them no mind. I'm such a positive person. Like, it's like, man, I know that I'm on a specific path, and fighting is something that can grant me access and opportunity to so many things in life that I want to experience and I want to have. So I'm always focused on the people who uplift me. I always focus on the people who um, want me to succeed. And I feel like when you put that energy, I always am the same way. I'm always willing to help people and do stuff for others. And when you put that energy out there, I mostly get that energy in return. For the haters that want to see me fail, or the haters that don't think I'm good enough, for the haters that like when I lose, it's like, I mean, you're watching me. Like, thanks for watching me. Like, literally, you're gonna just this is just all a part of the journey. Um, so if you hate to see me win, you're gonna continue to hate me. If you love to see me lose, then you're still watching me. You know, that's how I look at it.
Right. I like it. I like it. You brought up camp. What's the worst part about camp?
Easily cutting weight, Billy. Easily cutting weight. We despise weight cutting. I hate that it's so ingrained in combat sports, in boxing and in kickboxing and in MMA, especially on a professional level. I'm sure you saw like the weigh-ins at the last UFC card, UFC 324. There was the one dude, Cameron, I can't remember his last name. He was a bantamweight and he passed out after weighing in, and that's my weight class. So watching that, it was definitely scary to see. Um, Watching Davison Figueiredo, he looked weighed in at that weight at 135, and he looked absolutely depleted too. And that's after he went up from flyweight. I fought at 135, I fought at 145, and the worst part about it is just having to cut weight to make a weight class. So, the dehydrating, the sweating in a sauna, the sweating in a hot tub, the restricting sodium, restricting how much you can drink before you have to, like, it's easily the worst. Training is easy. Training is the fun part. I get to go. It started off as a hobby. I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't enjoy training. I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't enjoy competing and fighting. But the process of getting to the weigh-ins is always the hardest, especially that last week where it's like, okay, my diet got to be strict. Water intake. to the absolute ounce has to be perfect. Having to sit in a sauna if I have to sweat off any more weight, having to sit in a hot tub, going to sleep with not too much food on my stomach the night before weigh-ins, it's always the worst.
So now, okay, fight's over. We're gonna go get that food. Where's that? What's your cheat meal after a fight?
Man, it depends on how I'm feeling. Depends on how I'm feeling. Win or lose, I'm always gonna give me a cheat or a celebration meal because we went out there and we competed. We performed. It's even better when I win, but win or loss, it's time to go out there and enjoy stuff. The hard work is over. It's either this spot called Mama's Cocina. It's a 24-hour Mexican restaurant.
Ooh.
Oh look, and they serve 24-hour breakfast. Look, hey, like I said, if I wasn't a fighter, I'd be like a food critic or something. I would be like 50 pounds heavier. I'd be a heavyweight. Literally, I love food so much. So after a fight, I go out there. I get me. This is my order from Mama's. I'm gonna break it down. I go there. I get me uh a chorizo egg and bacon. Oh no, I'm sorry, a chorizo egg and cheese burrito.
Ooh.
And I get a bacon egg and cheese taco. And then I get a frozen margarita because their margaritas are so bomb. And I don't drink often. Um, when I do, it's usually right after a fight. So when I tell you that is always gonna hit the spot. But if I'm not feeling Mexican, I go get Waffle House easily.
Can't
I
go wrong
kill
with a
some
Waffle House.
Oh, that is like a Waffle Home. That is like church for me. That is like my sanctuary. That is where I go to pray. When I'm down on my knees and I need some food bad, a Waffle House is where I go.
Awesome. Is Mama's just in Atlanta?
Yeah, it's just in Atlanta for all my people that are in the Atlanta area. It's up there near Buckhead. Like I said, 24 hours. It's a known spot around the area because we're not like excuse me. Atlanta's not like New York or Chicago or like LA where they have a lot of 24-hour spots. So for us, it's usually IHOP, Waffle House, the strip club, because the strip clubs be open late and they got some good food too now. Don't sleep on the Atlanta strip club food. Or Mama's. You leave the club, if you leave the strip club or you leave the bars or wherever and you're in the area, Mama's is definitely the known spot to go get some good food, no matter what time of the day.
Man, I wish I would known that before we went to Atlanta. We would have stopped there for sure. All right, Tony, we're gonna do some rapid
Hey, next
fire.
time you in Atlanta, I got you.
All right, I'll hit. Oh yeah, definitely be going soon. All right, we got some rapid fire questions here. First thing that comes to your mind:
Let's get
first round finish or a 5-round war?
first round finish.
Okay. Favorite
Need that.
part about fight week?
Favorite part about fight week is I got two answers. My first one is the face-offs when I get to look my opponent in his eyes. My second is the walkout. I love walking out. I love walking out.
Okay. What type of music you got for your walkout?
John Cena, easy. It's always John Cena.
I like it. Would you rather win ugly or lose pretty?
Win ugly, easily. It gives me something to go back to the lab and work on. Losing is never something I want to do, even if like I can take something from a loss. If I can win, I'm gonna win.
One word to describe your style.
Artistry,
And then one word to describe you.
the one and only. I'm gonna put hyphens and all of that. That's hyphens. One word for me.
Any special shout outs you'd like to do?
Shout out to the city of Atlanta, man. Born and raised, love my city. It made me the man I am today. Shout out to my family for being always supportive for me. My mom, my dad, my brother, my auntie, all my people for real. Shout out to my gym. Shout out to the head coach, the head ninja Osei. Shout out to the other head ninja, the sensei Amir. Shout out to all my teammates, Devon, Jared. Shout out to all my boys. Y'all have definitely made me a greater martial artist I am now. Nico, TJ, Deja, Shan, all my people out there. Y'all know who y'all are when this episode released. Shout out to y'all. If I didn't name you, it doesn't take away from the value that you bring to my life. Shout out to all of y'all. I appreciate y'all. Shout out to my fans too. Wouldn't be here without y'all for real. Definitely love seeing y'all root for me, come into my fights, watching me perform. I'm gonna go up to the moon with this for real.
Cool. Where can everybody find you on social media?
Y'all can follow me on Instagram at thetonyhope, TheTonyHope, all one word, at thetonyhope. You'll be able to get a little insight to my life, look at my training, a lot of highlights. I'm telling you, entertaining fighter, 6-time champion. I got a bunch of clips to show y'all. If y'all want a little peek into my life behind the scenes, I'm making content every day, always coming up with new ideas to show my personable side, and always keep y'all updated on fights. I have another fight coming up March 7th, live, or I don't think it's at the Battery. It's actually at Monday Night Garage in Atlanta for the National Fighting Championship. There's pay-per-view for all of my out-of-state viewers or people who cannot make it. You can find that in the link in my bio on my Instagram. It's going to be a catchweight MMA battle, and I'm going to go out there and show that just like I'm a striker, I put this work and this time and effort into my ground. Y'all going to see it in this fight.
Awesome. Perfect. Well, appreciate you coming on. And if you guys want to hear the rest of our conversation, join us on the Patreon. Fans of One T Media Production, do you guys drink coffee? Sure you do. I, myself, drink quite a bit of coffee. So I always turn to Afuera Coffee for my go-to. It's smooth, it's bold, it's not too heavy. Perfect for that early morning or when you just need to lock in for the day. The best part is, at every purchase, 5% goes back to the great outdoors. Get a bag like this. I get 2 myself. Use promo code MTF and you get 15% off your order. Guys, what's not to love about coffee, free money, and deliciousness? Afuera Coffee.
Where the action's real, sports news and odds, that's our deal. From underdogs to favorites, we break it down.